Do you consider yourself resilient? So most of us think that we are either born with it or we're not. However, we can certainly develop more resilience. In a previous video, I did talk about ways to use our minds or our thoughts and thinking, is this that's happening going to be a big deal in a week, in a month, in a year, and this way discouraging our head from spinning around with a constant thought about that event. I am Elise Foss, by the way, and because I am fascinated with movement, I want to talk about how we can also use movement to become more resilient. So, if we think about what our bodies do when we have thoughts that are a little rigid, restrictive, right? Our bodies might become a little more rigid and a little less fluid. And so one way to encourage actually more resilience is to actually start to find ways to move that are a little more continuous, but even maybe a little more bouncy. Wow, wow. Like I like to do in class, sometimes have a ball behind the back as seated in a chair and do a little bit of just a bouncing. But I always say, like, make sure you don't give yourself a whiplash. So gentle, right? Some of you might already be bouncing on a big ball, just being seated and doing some bouncing. So that's all good. And actually, in general, boom, boom, dancing can be kind of nice if you're just going with rhythm, because you're just finding that nice jung continuous and perhaps resilient movement, depending on how you take on the movement. But so those are some ideas. So perhaps when you find yourself stuck and you're trying to find a way or ways to get out of your head, maybe you can experiment with a little movement, and that particular movement that is a little bit more of a rocking works for kids, right? So anyhow, thank you for listening and wishing you a most wonderful rest of your day.